Hello and welcome to the Paranormal Sideshow. I'm your host, John Edwards, and joined, as always, by my lovely wife, Stacey.
Hello.
And we finally found our way out of that place.
It was scary.
It was dark.
Mm-hmm. Lots of spider webs.
Everywhere. But they couldn't keep us. They thought they could keep us.
Mm-mm.
We outsmarted them. We let them abuse us, interrogate us, milk us for everything they could. Those bastards. We let them lose interest. That's right. Some people beat their way out. Some people trick their way out, buy their way out, bribe their way out. We let them beat us until they got bored with it.
We bored them to death.
When they ask us, we told them everything. But not just everything. Well, we went off on tangents. We let one thing lead to another thing, led to another thing. Few hours in, when we were talking about Rubik's Cubes and whether or not we used to peel the stickers off to solve them.
I think they were actually asking us to stop talking.
Yeah.
By that point.
That's when head investigator Johnson, well, he just gave up. He said something about, I hope I don't drop these keys over here.
I requested a few extra sessions. I was trying to get them on the schedule.
Trying.
But never heard back.
Yeah, we tried. We tried. But schedules or not, we have made it. And man, we've missed you guys so much. We can't tell you exactly where we were because, hey, we made maybe one little deal that, that we wouldn't say anything about that. And we can't tell you what that is, but we promise not to talk about it.
No, definitely not it.
That.
Or that.
Well, it is that.
Or them.
Well, no, they didn't want us to talk about it.
Right.
That.
Or that.
No, just that.
Oh, I see.
Which is it.
Okay.
All right.
Totally got all of that.
Clear?
Mm-hmm. Perfectly.
I think we just really solidified the fact they're not going to take us back. So
hey, we know how to protect ourselves.
That's it, man. That's it. That's the scientific turtle position.
There you go.
How do you go into the scientific turtle? You talk a lot. And good for you. We are talking a lot, and we're planning on talking a lot quite often. In fact, you won't be able to set your clocks to it unless you want a clock that could be on varying days. But that's why we love you and why you love us. We've got the same minds, riddled with strange news stories, fun anecdotes, incredible list, and even, from time to time, some paranormal, strange, spooktacular.
We do sprinkle the show with some paranormal every now and then, don't we?
Content.
Right.
That makes its way in like a quick summer storm. Sprinkling you with knowledge.
Right.
And then going off as the sun peeks back out.
I think that's a pretty good description. For anyone that's a first-time listener.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of the synopsis of what they're going to get, what to expect.
Okay, so listen, Miss Smarty Pants. So I took care of the first-time listeners.
Right.
I did. I took care of the first-time listeners that may open up this podcast for the very first time and decide, you know what, I'm going to go to the latest episode.
Right.
And listen from there. People do that.
They do, because we have a lot of episodes.
We do.
This is like 159.
Yeah, I know.
So you can't just go back and listen. Do you know how long it would take you to listen to all the episodes?
It wouldn't. I mean, some of them are like 8 hours.
Yeah, it would take a while. So
but people do it multiple times.
Yep.
We're like Tool. If you're a fan of the band Tool, well, Tool will release an album when they damn well feel like it. Okay?
Right.
When you get it, you're like, oh, I appreciate that. There's other podcasts out there where the people are just like,
hello and welcome to the podcast. This week we're going to interview Jimmy same person, and we're going to talk about the same thing in the same way. That's right.
But you see, the difference with us is we are paranormal. We are so effing paranormal that
Right.
we're not even going to talk about the shit that happened today, all day, which was very paranormal in our house. In our freaking house.
We've had some crazy stuff happen.
And because it just happens. The paranormal on our sideshow, baby, is the fact that we're haunted as hell.
You know, on that note, I figured out how to keep the the Xbox from coming on downstairs. You know how the Xbox just randomly turns on all by
You
itself?
just called a PlayStation?
I did. I didn't mean to.
No, I mean, is that how you get it to not to come on?
No. It came on the other day. I was down there by myself,
Things usually don't turn on when you call them their own name.
because it does it when you're by yourself, Like, and I was just sitting there, and all of a sudden, it just turned on. So I just left it on.
So it never turned off.
It just didn't turn off. No. So now it won't turn on by itself because it's just on. It's probably not on now, but
The ghost is like, oh, like, holy crap, do I have to, like, tell it that I want it to shut down now?
problem solved.
Well, that would explain why it moved. Because earlier, the upstairs television went to Apple mode. Like, it just went to Apple TV.
Did it? That's weird.
It went to Apple TV. It wasn't even on. The television turned on and then went to Apple Television.
That's weird.
I look at the remote thinking maybe, just maybe,
Right,
there's
there-
a button stuck. Now, I was not, listen, nobody was touching the remote.
Right. No, I get you.
Okay. But I looked down because I just wanted to see, is there an Apple button? Because there's like a Netflix button, an Amazon button, things like that, right?
Right.
And there's not an Apple button.
Is there not? I thought there was one for Apple TV.
There
Maybe
is-
not.
Well, no, there is definitely not.
But regardless, you would have had to touch it.
You would have,
Yeah.
but I would have been okay with that. I'm not as okay with ghosts that actually make selections. Randomly touching the front of an Xbox that has a hair trigger,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah, I know.
You know? But when you actually are like selecting things, if I have to start arguing with the spirits for what we're watching, it's just like, oh, no, not wrestling again. No.
Start turning it off.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things, bud. But listen, we are glad. And guess what, guys? We are recording this episode. So we're famous for having certain voices sometimes in the background of our recordings.
Right.
There are several. Oh, my God. And all the different places we've lived, in the haunted Northeast, in the haunted South. Oh, there's a deep cut. No matter where we've lived, we've had some things in the background at times where it's, you hear EVPs. And so we're recording this on Halloween night. And it's been a banger of a Halloween. Not that it's been fun or anything like that, because no, it's not. It's just been another day. But it's been, weird. It's been weird. It's been, as I told Stacey earlier, it's been a murder Halloween. As we went out to trick or treat,
we took the kids out. John and I don't trick or treat, just us.
Right. So when we went to go trick or treat, we noticed this year that all the houses, this is the second year in this house. God help us. But the second year in this neighborhood. And last year it was all full of life and it was like exciting and everybody was singing and there was like...
The streets are really full.
Yeah, the streets
Tons
were
of
full. It
kids.
reminded us of Maine and we were all excited because, we missed Maine ever since we were in Maine and because it was like the 1950s and it was just exciting up there and everybody trick-or-treated and they made a big deal of it and there was actual like events and all this. Oh, God. And then we went down to, Virginia and it sucked. And now we're in Kentucky. And last year it was perfect. Like it was perfect. It was not as good as Maine, but it was a good substitute.
Right.
If you don't have Maine. People were everywhere. Every house was participating for the most part. Earlier tonight, we went trick-or-treating and we walked by a lot of houses that were not even lit up.
That's very true. Very dark.
It was very dark. Of course, it was, as you put out, it was very cold. It's a Tuesday.
It is Tuesday.
And, I don't know. It's just weird, though. And I told you earlier, it just felt weird. It's a weird day. But
it was creepy.
we may not be broadcasting to your ears on Halloween. I hope you guys had a good Halloween. we at least are, we're taking care of our Hispanic friends.
There you go.
It's Dia de los Muertos.
Oh, you did very well with that.
Well, thank you. I did okay with it.
The
trick is not saying
boost
it.
your confidence there.
The trick is not saying it 1,000 times.
Right.
Because, as you always say, it gets weirder. When
It does
you do
get weird when you do it a
El
lot.
Dia de los Muertos.
That was not quite as good, but it was still good.
Oh, it's like Mortos. So, anyway, Day of the Dead, folks. I love it. I actually like that one better. It's cooler.
Right.
It's just not celebrated.
Sounds like it would be a lot more interesting than Halloween.
Yeah.
The Day of the Dead.
Yeah. There's a lot of celebration to it. I like the way they get down. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. And I got a lot of the friends in this city that we're in of the Hispanic variety.
Right.
And I'm sure they'll remind me of that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll
probably
be some good stuff. Listen, guys, we got some fun planned for you, right? So we've got a little bit of paranormal stuff, a little bit. And so, like I said, some first time listener stuff too. I thought I would throw in some stuff that have affected us over the past 13 years of doing the show. Not just this, though. It's all the same show. It's had different names.
Right.
Archives are in different places. But we are 1 month away from our 13th anniversary of doing this show.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is. 13 years ago on a night much like tonight. It was actually kind of warm. I believe it was a good temperature. We did a photo shoot that night, remember?
Oh, I do believe so, yes.
Yeah, we did a photo shoot.
Yeah.
And it was some good stuff. But we had already had a lot of fun that year. That was a great year. It was a good quality year.
Yes.
Should have bought some wine or something. Cracked open the 2010. It was good stuff. So I got a couple of lists. And
good.
Yeah. There's a couple of these lists. Now, don't get me wrong. One list I made. Most lists I stole.
Yes, this
But
is
I
true.
will give some, credit where credit is probably due. I'm sure they stole it as well. But there was some funny things I found. And I try to pride myself on lists that you're not going to look at yourself.
Right, right. You're probably not going to take the time to read this, so we're just going to tell you what's on it.
This one I thought was cute.
Okay, what is it?
It was 17 scary sayings for ghosts across the United States.
Okay, wait. 17 sayings?
Sayings.
Okay,
You
for
know,
ghosts.
Say what you want. Sayings. Yes.
Gotcha.
17 scary ones
Okay.
across the United States.
All right. I'm interested. I have no idea what's going to be on this list.
It's a mental floss list.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's the credit part.
There you go.
All right. We're going to start with skookum.
I'm sorry, skookum?
Skookum.
Is this, okay,
Skookum.
I gotcha.
All right. It's referring to a ghost, demon, spirit. Skookum. It's chiefly a Northwest term.
Ah, that explains why I never heard it before.
Right. And comes from a language of the Chinook Native Americans of the Pacific Northwest, if you're wondering. In the Northwest and Alaska, skookum as an adjective means strong, powerful, or good, while a skookum house is a jail and a skookum chuck is a turbulent channel of water.
It's not a particularly scary word, though, is it?
Skookum. Damn skookums are bothering me. Number 2, I disagree with because it's not just a ghost. But number 2 is Tommy Knocker.
Ah, Tommy Knocker. Yes.
Tommy Knocker is a specific thing. Thank you very much. Some little dwarfs in the mines. I don't even have to read this. Let's see what they say, though. More than just a Stephen King novel, Tommy Knocker has been used in the West since at least the early 20th century to mean a ghost that lives in a mine. Well, that's kind of true. I don't really consider him ghost.
No, I feel like
A ghost
they're
would be
more
a
like
spirit or...
they're more like fae.
Yeah.
Kinda.
They're more... I agree with you. They're
Mischievous.
It's more like little people that are,
Yeah.
you know.
I wonder how they get the name Tommy Knocker.
Well, you don't want to ask Tommy.
No, I'm sure Tommy is in the central role there somewhere.
Number 3 is haunt.
Oh, a haunt.
Yeah. In the South Midland states, a haunt or a haunt. It don't say haint.
It doesn't say haint. I thought maybe you just read it wrong.
No, I don't read wrong. It should have said haint.
It should have said haint. Haint's the one.
Maybe hant is something I'm not familiar with in those Midland states, those South Midland states.
The Midlands.
In South Midland states, a haunt or hant is a ghost or spirit. The earliest definitions of haunt weren't ghostly at all. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, OED, they're being cool. Because people are just like, hey, could you pass me the OED, please? Do you really have to put that in there?
I don't think so. I've never heard anybody call it. I would just say the dictionary.
Right,
Like, it doesn't have to be the Oxford English Dictionary.
Right. Yeah, I only want the OED.
It's like people that will just read the King James Version of the Bible.
Exactly.
I can't use that dictionary. That's like the New American Version. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The word originated in the 13th century to mean to practice habitually. Oh, hey, like masturbate. Or to frighten a place. I just haunted my pecker. Let's see here. Around 1576, it gained a figurative meaning of memories, cares, feelings, thoughts, etc. that distract one frequently. In 1597, the term wandered into the supernatural from Richard III. Some haunted by the ghost they have deposed.
So haunt didn't always mean haunted?
No.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, at one time it meant feelings and thoughts.
Well, I mean, because they have that saying you're haunted by your thoughts, but I still thought that meant something bad. That's weird. Okay, anyway, cool.
Yeah, well, they had a lot of words like that. But it finally came to refer to a spirit or a ghost. 4 and 5 on this list. That's weird.
Uh-huh.
Hot hant or hot steam. Yeah, you might run into a hot hant or a hot steam in the...
I don't want to run into a hot steam.
Yeah. I ran into a hot steam once. It was the wrong kind of room to go with towels on.
Is this like in the Midwest as well?
Yeah. It's the lower Mississippi Valley.
Oh, that's weird.
And southern Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
In Ben Berman's 1938 book, Below for a Landing, I'd really like to have a landing. Wonder how I could get a landing. Maybe if I go in this hot steam. Below for a landing. Hot hants are hot because they've gone to hell. In To Kill a Mockingbird, a hot steam is described as somebody who can't get to heaven. Just wallows around on lonesome roads. And if you walk through him, when you die, you'll be one too.
Wow. Okay, so I get it. So it's like misty, like a misty figure. See, that makes sense.
Does it?
That makes more sense than what I was thinking.
A hot steam. I wonder how many people just referred to it like that, like when they saw a misty ghost. And
and I would not. I could be with somebody walking down the street, and they'd be like, "I see a hot steam," and I would have no idea what they were talking about.
I'd be looking for poop.
Me too. I'd be looking like just a cow, just something.
I'd be like a Cleveland steamer. Number 6, Bugaboo.
I've heard of Bugaboo.
It sounds racist.
It does a little bit. Isn't there like a character in a movie called Bugaboo?
Bugaboo?
I don't know. Maybe not.
What's old Bugaboo doing?
I don't know. Anyway, read it.
Daddy, don't call him Bugaboo. This ghostly South and South Midland expression might also refer to an imaginary monster or the devil.
Of course, it's a Southern thing.
In use since at least 1970. Oh, 1710. How the hell did I get 1970 out of 1710?
I have no idea.
Oh, God. The OED says...
Oh, of course.
The word might come from the now obscure meaning of bug, an imaginary evil spirit. The insect meaning came later.
Oh. Huh. And then the spirit says boo, obviously, because it's scary.
And might also be influenced by boo. It can also be seen as Bugaboo and Bugaboo. Electric 2. Or Breaking 2, Electric
Boogaloo.
Yeah. We could have Breaking 2, Electric Bugaboo.
That's weird.
Number 7, Booger.
Now, I have heard booger.
Booger.
Sorry. That's a
Booger.
southern thing.
They all
isn't it?
sound slightly racist, don't they?
They do a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess it all depends how you use them.
Yeah. She's dating that booger. I mean, honestly, if you said that in polite conversation, you may get kicked out of a place.
The kids run around the house all the time going, I got booger on my finger. I mean.
Well, I mean, that's a whole new. I've had a booger on my finger before too, but it was in high school. Careful if someone from the South or South Midland State. Damn those South Midland states and their
Southerners
racism.
say some really weird things.
Yeah, I tell you. Careful if someone from the South or South Midland states tells you, I'm trying to talk like somebody from OED, like a representative,
You have to sound very pompous.
tells you that you have a booger. They can
You can get a tissue.
they can mean something more frightening than a piece of snot. The word originated in the 1750s to mean a despicable man, according to the OED, and came to mean a menacing supernatural creature in the 1820s, and dried nasal mucus in 1891.
I wonder how it made that jump. I want to know how you go from, scary spirit to mucus in your nose.
Right. No, it's not just, it's like, actually dried up and, ready to, it's not actual snot.
Right.
And it's not the crusty stuff,
No.
but I think a booger's got a little crust and a little goo still.
It's got to be, it's like much thicker than snot because it's got like chunks in it.
Yeah.
It's sticky.
Yeah, it can roll around.
But it's not the dry stuff that just flakes off because your heat's up too high and you need a humidifier,
I haven't had a quality booger in my entire adult life. Seriously, I can't just pick my nose and if I did and get something,
Right.
Whereas I can watch some people that can make collections.
there's probably some medical thing. I mean, you should probably see a doctor maybe. I don't know.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's like
The worst thing I get is bumps. Like I'll get like
Right.
a bump inside my nose. I don't get traditional boogers.
right.
That is weird, huh?
It is a little weird, I guess. I never really thought about it.
I think about it quite often.
I'm going to think about it now.
Yeah. When was the last time you remember seeing a booger hanging out of my nose?
I mean, never.
Never,
But you
yeah.
blow your nose a lot.
Well, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm just cleaner than most people.
Maybe.
I don't get ear crap either.
No.
Yeah. Wow. My orifice.
Learning all kinds of new things about you, aren't we?
I don't know whether to be proud or worried. That's what the silence was. It's like, do you tell the doctor that? Excuse me, doc.
I don't have enough boogers. Could you help me out, please?
Lack of bugaboos. Hide behind.
No, I don't like the sound of that at all. That is not.
This term, which has variants like high behind and nigh behind.
Okay.
Hey, look at that girl. Nah, not really my type. Nigh behind. Refers to a ghost or imaginary creature that always hides behind some object.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Henry Tryon's 1939 book, Fearsome Critters, describes the hide behind as a 6-foot-tall, highly dangerous animal with grizzly-like claws. Conveniently enough, it's never known to attack an inebriate. Jesus. According to Vance Randolph's 1951 We Always Lie to Strangers, Tall Tales from the Ozarks, the monster is a lizard as big as a bull.
How do people know what it looks like if it's always hiding behind something?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's not called the hide behind and pop out at you.
That lies in
Monster.
wait for human beings on the trails at night. A lot of bulls do that.
They're sneaky that way.
They are. Want to meet my bull? Number 10, catawampus.
I've actually heard of the catawampus. I thought it was caddy, like cattywampus with a Y in it.
It's probably a real rednecky person. You're
Probably.
A word from an imaginary monster or hobgoblin in the South and South Midland states.
Oh my God. I feel like we're being picked on here.
Yeah. Catawampus also means fierce, unsparing, destructive, according to the OED, and originated as a humorous formation. It's like one of my cousins.
Humorous formation.
Yes. The first part of which might have been influenced by catamount, or puma or cougar?
Oh, Lord. You're just walking around at night and all of a sudden, like some weird, unusual shape popping out
That
at you.
girl's a real catawampus. It's another word for cougar, don't you know? Number 11, swogon.
I've never heard that one.
It sounds like some kind of dish soap.
Swogon, take me away. It's like Calgon.
Let's see. This Maine term.
Oh, it's from Maine. I've never heard of it.
That's a slogan. It's a slogan.
You can't use your Tom Brady thing for Maine anymore, can you?
No.
It doesn't work.
The main term for a spirit might come from swamp swogon, as quoted in Hallman Days up in Maine. For even in the days P.I.'s shake at the great swamp swogon of Brasa Lake, when it blitters and glabbers the long night through, and shrieks for the souls of the shivering crew. Another main word, swogun, also spelled swagon, swagon, and other variations, refers to bean soup.
Huh.
Bean soup or that thing. Number 12, akua. In Hawaii, an akua is a god, spirit, or supernatural being. The OED has atua, which it says is a Polynesian word with the same meaning. Number 13, stepney.
That's weird.
Help me, stepney. I'm stuck in this dryer. This expression is used among Gullah speakers. Oh, like Gullah Gullah Island.
No idea if that's what that means.
On the Georgia and South Carolina. It is like Gullah Gullah Island.
What?
On the Georgia and South Carolina coast. You don't remember Gullah Gullah Island with the green thing?
I'm stuck on the Stepney thing.
Oh. It can mean hunger or hard times. It usually does mean some hard times.
Especially for the person stuck in the dryer.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You know, they never help them either, do they? I mean, they eventually get out of it, but...
I don't think I'd bring Stepney over to babysit anymore.
Or maybe Stepney always babysits. And you don't even have kids.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
May also be personified. I love that word. Personified.
What does the OED say that means?
You know, OED didn't weigh in on this one.
Okay.
OED has some bad Stepney memories.
Oh, yes.
And may be personified as a malevolent spirit. That's two nice words right back to back.
I love malevolent.
Malevolent personified. It's a personification of malevolence. Where the word comes from isn't clear, or what we were even talking about.
Right.
Number 14, plaid eye.
But that sounds rude.
It
Anyway, go
does.
ahead.
It does. Damn plaid eye.
You can't help it.
It's
That's how he was made.
It's another racist term.
You know, sometimes these spirits, they can't help what they look like.
Plaid-eyed freaks coming in here, taking our jobs,
Don't you be haunted by no plaid eye.
dating our women. I seen you looking at him, sissy. You got a thing for the plaid eyes.
No. Okay, what does plaid eye mean?
You better watch your ass.
I don't.
You're not gonna be one of these platypuses.
I don't even know a plaid eye.
Careful of plaid eyes if you're roaming around in South Carolina at night. These hobgoblins, or malevolent spirits, are said to rise out of graves. The phrase plaid-eye prowl refers to the time of night when they're said to roam. Well, I'm effed then, because what time is plaid-eye time?
I don't know. I mean,
Is it like
it
10
could
o'clock?
be anytime.
11 o'clock? You're not going outside now, are you, boy? It's plaid-eye.
And does that refer to like Eastern time?
I don't
Central
know.
time?
I don't know. Well, South Carolina time, yeah.
I guess it would have to be Eastern
Yeah,
time.
because it's plaid-eye.
True.
It's plaid-eye. All right. Next one is going to be number 15.
Okay.
Go Devil.
Oh, a Go Devil. That sounds like a college football team or something.
It's another South Carolina expression. A Go Devil is an evil spirit or someone made up to look like one.
So if you just dress up like a devil, you're a Go Devil.
Oh my God, it's a Go Devil. No, that's Ingrid. She's just dressed like one. Jesus Christ. South Carolina, what are you doing? You're drunk. A go devil is an evil spirit or someone made up to look like one. The term also refers to various machines and devices in agriculture, forestry, and the oil industry.
How is that even relevant to anything on this list?
I don't know, but I kind of want to like
you want to go
apply
devil?
myself. Excuse me, sir. I'm looking for the go devil position.
Yes, I'd like to use the go devil, please.
I might have a Stepney as a boss. I know the go devil position. I used to work for Oxford. Number 16, hag or hag spirit. While commonly known as a witch in the Southeast, the term hag or hag spirit, now no one's ever called it a hag spirit.
No.
It's still
just a hag. Mm-hmm.
It's either a hag or a dead hag.
Right.
Might also refer to an evil spirit of a dead person. Said spirit is supposed to cause nightmares by riding the luckless dreamer. It actually, hold on.
Okay.
Said spirit is supposed to cause nightmares by riding the luckless dreamer. Now, let me just tell you.
Okay.
I have a thing for hags in the witch sense.
Oh, wow.
Hag-ridden, according to OED, means afflicted by nightmares or ridden
by a hag.
By a hag.
Those OED people, they're sure smart.
If you want to be hag-ridden, you better make sure you're not a really big boy with a little tiny girl, or she's just going to fall off from one side to the other. And you can't be hag-ridden very often. If you are hag-ridden, it's going to seem like she's in terrible discomfort, and it's not because of Johnson. It's because of the damn, high-riding hip bones.
That one's weird. Okay.
And we're just going to end, thank God.
Finally.
I think this list ended like 7 ago. Number 17, rawhead.
Oh, no. What is it?
Rawhead.
That's it? Just rawhead?
Rawhead and bloody bones.
Oh, my God. It sounds like the 4-year-old came up with that. What's that monster called?
It sounds like more sexual injuries to me. What's wrong, Tommy? I got the rawhead. What's wrong with your little friend there, Jimmy? He's got the bloody bone.
I think rawhead's what you get before you have the STD, and then bloody bones is what you have after, when it's too late to do anything about it.
Shouldn't have been getting those clothes out so deep in the dryer.
Shouldn't have been hag-ridden, huh?
Should have been looking for that sock. In addition to being an excellent name for a death metal band. Really? Yeah, Rawhead's not really going to sell you many tickets.
No, it's not scary enough.
Rawhead and Bloody Bones is a South and South Midland expression for a specter or a hobgoblin. Why isn't specter and hobgoblin on the damn list?
I mean, I feel like those are the proper scary names.
Haint, ghoul, woodbooger.
Yeah, I'd be a lot more scared of that than...
Bigfoot, but yeah. So anyway, Rawhead and Bloody Bones in South Midland expression for a specter or hobgoblin. It's an old term. Dare's earliest citation. Now, they didn't even tell me who Dare was.
Right. We're supposed to know.
Yeah, they give me a full definition of Oxford in their credentials.
Right.
So Dare's earliest citation in American English is from 1637, while in British English, it's 1566, according to the OED, whose definitions for both words border on terrifying. Rawhead refers to something that is typically imagined as having a head in the form of a skull, or one whose flesh has been stripped of its skin.
Wait, a head in the form of a skull?
Yes.
I mean...
Yeah, not a skull.
Oh my God, your head is in the form of a skull?
Yeah, holy shit.
Who would ever have imagined that?
I think I'm more terrified of the thing that doesn't have a head in the form of a skull.
Exactly.
It's got the head in the form of a pinto. Perfectly normal. I don't know what you're wrong.
Wow.
Sometimes described as a boogeyman, said to lurk in ponds, waiting to drown children.
Wow. I feel like Mental Floss could have made that a top 10 list of just the Southern and Southern Midlands.
South Midland list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So I got like this weird list, right?
Right.
This is weird. I always look for weird lists, but this list is actually from Live Science.
Okay.
It's the 10 spookiest nebulas in the universe.
Nebulas are spooky.
Yeah, the 10 spookiest nebulas. And I thought it was kind of interesting too because it shows you that our minds are kind of always, because there's a lot of pareidolia
Right.
that
right.
goes into the naming of these things.
Right.
Some I would like to question the people who originally named them, like when you're looking at constellations. And it's like, oh, hey, that's Pegasus. Is it?
Looks like a triangle.
I mean, dude.
I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's like there's 3 stars. How is that? How is that Hercules?
Well, you just draw this little detailed,
Right.
super detailed figure on top, and there you go.
Right. And normally the stars that they are using
Right.
aren't even good focal points on that.
Right. Now, some of them are good, like Orion with the belt. Like
That's
that,
true,
I
that's
understand.
true, that's
but
true.
most of them, you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
See, like Big Dipper, Little Dipper, that I get.
Man, can you imagine if I'd been tasked with that? Like,
Oh, with naming the constellation.
Yeah.
Every constellation would be like
A
a penis. Or some type
and
of
what I am.
body part.
It'd have been boobs and dicks all over the universe.
You'd be like, the big boobs over here, the little boobs over here.
There's small limpy. There's flaccid. The flaccination constellation.
All right. Anyway.
Yeah. So, the 10 spookiest nebulas, I said, in the universe. It's pretty cool, actually. Number 1 is the Witch Head Nebula.
Oh.
And honestly, it's totally the profile of a witch.
That's
you ever
cool.
seen it?
No, I have not. Oh, that is, wow. That's crazy. Looks like a hag.
See why you would know that, right?
Yeah, it looks like- Somebody's going to be hag-ridden tonight, huh?
Yeah, it was so baby. Get me excited. So I'm going to spare you guys on the definitions. We'll put a link up.
Yeah.
So, Skull and Crossbones Nebula.
Really? One that looks like a skull and crossbones. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't see it at all. I see a really cool looking skull with pink eyes.
Right,
I don't see
yeah.
the crossbones.
No, me neither.
Yeah. So maybe it was a bad day for it. The Eye of God Nebula.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely an eye.
Yeah.
A little red center there. That's awful.
It's funny they think of our, pacifist God that way. What do you see, Jimmy?
Peeping at us.
That's the Eye of God. Little Ghost Nebula.
Okay.
Little ghost, little ghost.
It's a good song.
Wispy and faint.
Oh, that's
The
rude.
little
That's
ghost-
rude.
The Little Ghost Nebula is a monument to stellar death. Wow. Illuminated by the dying spirit of a white dwarf star, the smoldering husk of a once mighty star that has ceased its nuclear fusion.
Well, at least the name means something.
Yeah.
They didn't just be
This-
like, oh, it looks like a little ghost.
This nebula is slowly dimming and one day will vanish entirely,
Oh, that's sad.
just like the little ghost.
Oh,
That's really sad.
that's pretty sad.
The
Yeah.
little ghost just like go out of the room crying. My favorite.
Okay.
Do you know what my favorite is?
The hand of God.
Yes. The Hand of God Nebula.
I do
Looks
know.
just like my damn hand on fire.
It does. And it looks, with all the fingers and everything. It's so crazy
I've
looking.
got pictures like that. And that's crazy. Do you think that was like saying that I was going to be special one day?
Sure, babe. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was saying.
Yeah. You know, that professional I went to when I was a teenager, I didn't understand what he meant by the God complex thing. But he also didn't know that I would one day stand in a wrestling ring and set my hand on fire on purpose.
Right. How could he possibly have known that this Hand of God nebula was there because you were going to light your hand on fire in an independent wrestling ring?
Well, you had to throw that independent in there, didn't you? Just had to throw the fact that I probably didn't make money doing that.
You made money.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, all 20 of those dollars. Number 6, the Tarantula Nebula.
Oh, that sounds horrible. No, I don't want anything to do with that. Does it look like a spider?
It
Let me see.
looks like a dancing magician to me.
That doesn't look like a tarantula.
I see a little like Merlin hat on top, and his
Yeah.
like he's lifting up his skirt, and his little legs are down below.
There's not even 8 legs. It's got to have like 8 little. I expected like 8
Wouldn't
things
you
pointing
imagine?
out.
Wouldn't you imagine there would be at least the 8
Yeah,
tentacles,
like
right?
something sticking out.
like the
Yeah.
8, right?
But no, or it'd be in a circle or something. No, I don't think that looks like a tarantula at all.
No, that one's not good at all. Number 7 is the Skull Nebula, not the Skull and Crossbones.
Really?
Now this one I see and it's terrifying.
Another skull. Let me see.
It's like looking in a
Oh, like kind of sideways?
kind of sideways.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen that one.
You can actually see like
You can see the eye holes.
the bone and stuff of the nose. Like that's creepy.
That is creepy. Yes.
That one's weird, man. That one I don't want to look at.
No.
Like if I had some device where I could look, I don't want to because it's going to look my way. I just know it is. It's like looking out an airplane window because of William Shatner on the damn Twilight Zone.
Right. And all of a sudden it's just gonna like look at you.
Yeah, I can't do it. Number 8, the Black Widow Nebula.
Another spider.
Yeah, but this one was done by a good. I mean,
Let's see. Oh yeah. Now see, it actually has like the legs that go up and the legs that come down.
That's
and the butt.
That's good.
Yeah. I don't want anything to do with that.
That's a quality.
Kill it with fire right now.
That's a quality nebula. So I think something did kill it with fire. That's why it's number 9 is the Cosmic Keyhole. I would have seen something different. It would have required a plug at times.
I mean, I can see where they get the keyhole.
Yeah, me too.
It does have keyhole shape.
Yeah, it's a keyhole.
Kind of wonky, like to the side there, but
The Pac-Man Nebula is number 10. I'm not seeing Pac-Man. I really want to see Pac-Man. Damn it.
let me see. No, I don't. I mean, where's the mouth?
My pareidolia, it's just not working tonight. Do you not?
My pareidolia is off.
Yeah, my pareidolia's off.
Yeah.
I don't
see
it.
a Pac-Man because there's no mouth. Like for it to be the Pac-Man one, you would think there would be like a section like big open section there.
There's not a lot of
It's more like just the blob of cotton nebula.
there's not a lot of room for your own creativity on a Pac-Man, right?
Right. Let me see.
Like
yeah. No. See, I
it
feel
looks like
like
a coelacanth to me, like a sideways prehistoric.
it does look like a fish, like
Yeah,
down here.
yes.
Like a bony fish.
Yes.
Yeah. Like see, there's like the
Yeah,
bones in the back.
and yeah, that's exactly what I was seeing.
And like maybe this was, those fish that use like the big fins on the back, like those.
It's like a fish that got hit with a big hammer.
It is, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's
But yeah, it's even got like an eye and like a.
okay.
Like
Yeah.
I got you.
Describing it for the people. I got you. So yeah, that's that list. That
I mean, that was interesting, but I don't agree with all their names.
I don't either. So before I get to my new listeners list, right?
Right.
My thing to give you the dossier of John and Stacey, if you will.
Right.
I got something cool.
Oh.
And it don't matter if you're south of the border, north of the border.
Which border?
Well, the border
Oh.
for us.
Okay. Gotcha.
Wherever you're living right now, like if you're in Australia, it's going to be weird.
Right.
You're like, well, the border's the water.
You could still be south of it. You're probably being eaten by a large fish.
Yeah.
But you could be south of
you're
it.
getting eaten by something. Hey, good day. I'll put it in my snake pit. I got the top 10 things that people fear the most.
Oh.
Yeah.
I probably, let me guess here. Let's see. I'm going to have 6 of these probably, personally.
Number 1, being stuck in a dryer with a horny Stepney around. So, number 1, public speaking.
Okay.
Never been a problem for me. I have signed up and done everything I can to publicly speak.
I used to be really, really scared of that, but I think I'm better about it now. It's not really like a fear I think about.
Number 2, heights.
Oh, definitely. That's me. Yeah. I'm with the heights.
Yeah, that's... Number 3, going to the dentist.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Yeah, I'm staring at you right now.
Yeah, I see you staring at me.
Yeah.
I went to the dentist several years ago.
Yeah. You sure did. They were going to, yeah. Number 4, snakes.
Oh.
Filthy, disgusting creatures. I don't even like people that like snakes.
Right.
I honestly navigate my friends.
Right. Like,
by the ones,
you own a snake. Yeah, we can't be friends.
Yeah, the ones that are like, oh, you got to see my baby. I got this new, white pot, whatever. It's like, I'm sure they're good people, but not with me. I'm not going to be at your house. I'm not going to, happen to fall asleep watching the game at your house when your damn snake's there. Just, we aren't made to be in the same place.
No, this is true.
Number 5, flying.
Oh, like fear of getting on planes and stuff like that?
Well, not fear of sprouting wings, I'm sure.
I mean, that could be a legitimate fear.
Yeah, I would think that would be on the want list, you know? I think people that control it themselves
are probably okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a fear
Do you
of
think
flying.
it's effortless? Like if you just sprouted the angel wings, would it be like a natural thing, or would it be something?
I don't know. I feel like you would have
flapping
to.
your arms would suck, right?
Right.
I mean,
right.
that would suck.
Mm-hmm.
Just even if you had feathers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're gonna want to get run and go and.
Well, and it's not like if you did sprout the wings, you would know how to do it immediately. I mean, you'd have to learn. That's a whole process with the wind currents and birds don't just flap their wings wherever they want and up they go.
To be our size, your wings would have to be incredibly strong to get that initial power to really set you off, right?
Yeah, because birds' bones are hollow, like they're very light, and we are not like that.
No, you're going to have to be pretty strong. I mean, I think that your little wing nubs would be
little wing nubs would be very sore. I think that if you ever decide you want the power of flight, like if you find a magic lamp and there's a genie, it should be more Superman style. Like you could just fly. You don't need the wings. It's just like a superpower. That would be better.
That wouldn't be mine though. If I just had one.
What would yours be?
My superpower?
Yeah.
What would yours be?
I don't know. Probably.
See, you're a sneaky bastard though, and that's one of the that's just you. Mm-hmm. You're that person who does 2 wishes and then wishes for 5 wishes as your next wish.
No. I just can't pick my superpower because I would like to have some sort of ability to have like knowledge, like some kind of knowledge-based thing, like maybe you could translate any language or understand any language, or I don't want to like be the person that can read your mind because I don't want to know what people are thinking, but I still want to know things. So I don't know how that would translate to a superpower. That
Mine would be
something I would want to do though.
To be invisible.
I don't know if I'd want the invisibility.
Well, I want all my mass. I want to still be able to touch, like drive. Not fall through the floor.
Maybe if I could have clothes that could go invisible too, so I wouldn't have to like strip every time I went invisible, because I would be the stupid person that became visible without putting clothes on.
Well, see, that's the fun part. But I always thought the invisible part would be cool, because then you can have all the learning you want. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just walk in wherever you want, get any book you want,
That's true. I would like to have telekinesis. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Make things fly. I wouldn't have to get up. That'd be awesome.
Number 6, spiders and insects. It's a gimme. Should be in there snakes, I think.
It depends with that. 'Cause if they're tiny enough, I don't really care, but
they're still disgusting.
Yeah.
Number 7, enclosed spaces. Ding, ding, there's mine. Number 8, mice.
Ew.
At least the snake takes care of the mice.
This is true.
Number 9, dogs.
Really? I guess people have a fear of dogs.
To make a top 10 list, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I would fear cats first.
We haven't even hit water yet, and dogs is on there.
Number 10, and the last one, thunder and lightning.
Wow, really? Water's still not on there?
Yeah, no,
fear of drowning or whatever?
Water's not there.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's crazy. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. Water and fire not making the list.
That's unusual, because that's what I used to always be afraid of. I bet when we were kids, quicksand would have made the list.
Oh, you know it. We were all terrified of quicksand.
Yeah. I mean, stepping in a mud puddle, but then all of a sudden it's quicksand and it sucks you down like instantly.
Every soon to be canceled adventure-based show had the quicksand.
Had the obligatory quicksand scene.
The obligatory quicksand and the obligatory island that's never existed, like it's Goldschwaffel. An island in the South Pacific. Always the South Pacific.
Right. Because we've never been. There's like unexplored regions there somewhere.
That was, so exotic. I wonder how the little kids in the South Pacific felt, Like,
look, I never heard of that place.
Mama, where is Swaffle? Shut up. So, for people, I think it's interesting the fact that we're a month away from our 13th anniversary of doing this crap.
Right.
Having fun. And the whole time, when you do a show based on strange news and weird news, and It's not like it's show day, let's find some stories. It don't work like that. You're always looking for stories. You're always spotting them. And it's just like anything else. Once you learn it, you see it all the time.
That's right.
So stories at that point, they just catch your eye, right? So if it's like, well, 3-headed lady ran into lake and whatever, you notice this stuff. So for the last 13 years, because we've done the paranormal for much longer than that. But when we decided to do a radio show, podcast, we wanted to have something cool and unique at the time, which was, hey, let's do paranormal news. And that seemed like the fun thing to do for, an hour each week or whatever. And
Right.
but wow, over that time, some of our opinions have truly increased on different subjects. Mysteries have been developed for us. And some things have just become part of our lives because of the show and things that have happened over that time period. So in speaking and keeping with that, I got a little list together.
Oh, wow.
Now, this ain't all of them.
Right. Okay.
We don't have that much time.
Right.
Of all the weird crap that has developed in our lives over that time. But I think one of them,
Okay.
no particular order,
Okay.
is how old we truly are. Why they hide the obvious clues to that question. And why are they hiding it? That's the thing we talk about the most. Like, how far back does humanity, and the thing is, not just ooga booga, but highly functioning full society. That's been one that's really developed. And it happened back then. Nobody was talking about that.
Right.
And by nobody, almost nobody was talking about that.
Right.
And it was this big thing with us with the questions and a lot of the things like, sexy woman, Sasuke Homan.
Saskatchewan. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. The big place with 100-ton stones in Peru.
Right.
Still yet, like the pyramids, Stonehenge. The thing we've found is every year somebody's going to solve it. And every year, well, they're not really going to solve it.
Right.
And it's going to stay a mystery because it's impossible for the stuff that happened, the way it happened, to do it with the tools they supposedly had.
Right.
That's the problem. That's the rub. Go out there and get your little twig and try, making these things that would take heavy ass machinery.
Right.
True college educations to freaking create, and it's just not going to happen. So I love the mysteries of our world. This world would be a boring place without them. But over the course of doing this, it's not lost any of its luster. It's only gained, for us, more excitement into new breakthroughs and whenever they get to explore and why the hell they don't just remove all the ground and topsoil and figure it out.
Right. And see what's there.
Yeah. But, things like the Bronze Age collapse really should make this list because, but that all goes back into like who we really are, right? Like, I love some of those mysteries like the sea people. And if you guys don't know, you should really jump into that. Giants.
Of course, giants.
The giants was not something we thought about, not much. We had seen books here and there on giants, but really at the point that we're at now with giant bones, the Smithsonian, we a few years back did a whole presentation for Scarefest on the subject. And I think the thing that got us the most was the giants found with like the little people, bones as well.
Right, where they were right in the same area.
Right. Like these little 3-foot people, like the thing in Tennessee that was they found and it's just insane. And they all had like a conch shell with them. Like,
yeah,
it was
that was from really far away.
Yeah, just nuts,
just
man.
Crazy stuff.
Just really nuts. It's just some of that crap. Again, why did they take it? Why did, if it was just one time and somebody said, oh, we found this giant and the Smithsonian came and took it, you would probably not believe the person.
Right.
But when it happened in every freaking mound in the United States, and it's always the same story. They didn't have the internet.
Right.
So these stories were written in local papers without the luxury of knowing what was said on the East Coast.
Right. And the I think the telling thing on that is the guy that was running the Smithsonian at the time was like very open about how against all that he was.
Because we wrote.
He didn't care. He was just like, oh, we got to squash that.
We already wrote it in the book.
Yeah. We already
Books
know
are
how
expensive.
We already know how it all went. This does not fit, so
I don't want to be wrong. I think some of the things like the black eyed kids phenomena, that developed throughout the course of the show with our friendship and, it's the Mr. Weatherly and that's where, and then Nick with the MIB book and all this stuff. It's just been a fun ride, but we consider those the same thing, kind of in the same
sort of genre kind of thing.
The missing 411 stuff, the David Pilates, just in general, national parks, which he probably was all over it before, but we were, it's funny, not about missing people.
Right.
But national parks.
Just in general.
Yeah, Stacey and I was just, national parks are strange, man.
They are.
They're just weird.
Yeah.
It's just, there's something going on there. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't feel right. They feel like points of, it should be happy, right?
right.
It feels like points of negative. If you want to see two people with really tight anuses, me and Stacey, when we find out we've accidentally driven through a national park at like 2 a.m,
yeah,
is looking around like, holy shit.
Just like, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like this list should be called John and Stacey's rabbit hole list.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, funny you should say that. There's some that is absolutely our rabbit holes. Mm-hmm. I mean, Mandela.
Yeah. Oh man, that's
Mandela, which developed during the course of our show.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
Tulpas, something we've dove into big time, and the whole thought forms.
Right.
And is chicken or the egg on a lot of things like the Hat Man.
Right.
And stuff. And these are all things that you're going to hear on this show. This is all things on this list that you're going to hear us go into and deep dive and talk about and, ponder about, pontificate, according to OED. The UFOs, UAP question, right?
Wow.
So obviously this year has had some of the best, most amazing, incredible. Trust me, Stacey and I were very upset that we didn't have the ability at the time because of things happening in this world to be able to cover that the way we wanted to. We were glued to it, but we wanted to cover it. And the good thing is we have some year-end stuff coming up where we get to do some recapping.
Right.
Probably a whole show on that because it's so much has happened.
I mean, it's a ridiculous amount of stuff.
But our big problem with all of it is you watch all these hearings and you get to see all this wonderful stuff. And people, it's one of those things like Stockholm Syndrome. They've been so shitty to us for so long about not giving us anything that all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're going to talk about UFOs today, kids. UAPs is what we're going to call them, though. You can't call them UFOs. So we're going to talk about UAPs today, and we're going to be very scientific and boring about it.
Right.
And explain to you how there's no way we could ever build anything like this, or at least in this lifetime or the next. And we're going to somehow talk about all this without mentioning alien abductions. And, the being that it's pretty much the 900-pound rhinoceros in the room. Right. 9,000-pound. It's not going to be mentioned. That stuff's just not mentioned. The missing Tom, the real weird crap that happens around the UFO phenomenon.
Right. All the things that go along with it.
And the fact that like Bigfoot, right? All these things are probably somehow loosely connected.
Right.
Mm-hmm. The way we've talked about really bad hauntings that we've been on, how close they are to abductions.
Oh yeah, I think we did a whole episode on like the similarities between like demon possession or hauntings and alien visitation.
Yeah.
So
it checks way too many of the same boxes.
It really does.
So I mean, we truly believe that this stuff is connected, and in some way.
Right. Not always, but there's definitely a connection.
Very weird. It's very strange, and even with some of the missing stuff. But I'm sure we'll dive into that.
At some point.
We are planning on diving into quite a bit again and love it so much. Mystery booms and the sky machinery, sky freaking whatever, flutes, sky harps.
Sky scraping. Sky something.
It sounds like heavy machinery in the sky, folks. That's what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. But the mysterious booms, right? So mysterious booms has been the thing they could have locked me up for several times. Because it drives me insane.
It does.
That it doesn't make bigger sense on the news. Like, do you have an explosion
right
in a damn town? I'm going to say it one more time. If you have an explosion in a fucking town, right? Mm-hmm. And it's such a big explosion that it sounds like, Jimmy Johnson down there at the damn nuclear plant.
Right.
Accidentally was getting it on with his fucking Stepney.
Right,
and blew up reactor 2.
Right, and then like 200 people called the news station.
Yeah, 200 people called the news station, call the cops. Mm-hmm. They can't figure it out. They call the local military base because there's going to be one.
Right.
And they have nothing to...
Of course, they know nothing about it. We know nothing.
Yeah, we've not seen anything.
We haven't been doing any testing. Look at our schedule here. No testing listed on this schedule. See?
Yeah, not heard anything about it. And it makes all the news for a day, for one day. And then it's never mentioned again, not talked about again, unless they have some weird hum with it or something,
Right,
they might talk about it for 2 weeks, and then it's gone, right? Nothing drives me crazier. It drives me fruity as a bat.
Yeah.
I'm just really pissed off about it. And the freaking sky noises, right? The sky freaking trumpets, whatever you want to call them. Yes, we've experienced it. Yes, there's a video of the very end of our experience. But it sounds like dimensions crashing against one another. If those dimensions were made of some weird kind of metal, but that's the best thing I can come up with. Because that's just how I felt in the moment when it was happening. Mm-hmm. It felt like something rubbing against something else. Mm-hmm. That's the best way. And, it's crazy. It's nuts. And if you've not ever seen those videos, they were very prevalent in the mid, like 2015, 2014.
Right.
2013. They're very prevalent. And there's some crazy ones. And they're real. You're going to watch those videos and be like, that ain't real. Mm-hmm. But it's real. Mm-hmm. Because it's exactly what I experienced. And there's a lot of similarities of these things.
And it happens in a lot of places.
Oh, yeah.
Like everywhere.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
It is very strange. Mm-hmm. But, there's a lot of invisible UFOs up there, too, that are very strange. That's there's been a lot happen over the past decade and a half that is incredibly weird.
Yes.
Just incredibly weird. And it's so funny because so much of it's accepted now.
Oh, yeah. And people just are like,
when we started doing the show, if we would talk about half the crap that is totally accepted.
Well, it's like you talked about us doing paranormal news. When we first started doing paranormal news, I had to fight and scrape to get 2 or 3 stories together. I mean, 3. If I had 3 stories and one of them wasn't about a cross-eyed animal at the zoo,
right?
We were excited,
right? And now we have to make ourselves do the cross-eyed animal story.
Yeah, we have to like weed out the one. Well, is this one good enough, or is this, are we going to be laughing at the wrong thing? And okay, we'll do it then, and
right,
that kind of thing.
I think one of my favorite things has really been the points of power, right? Like the mystery places of power, that the places that are out there that are just nasty.
Right.
Just supernatural, heavy. They're going to have the UFO sightings. They're going to have the freaking spirits. They're going to have all this stuff. Like think Skinwalker Ranch.
Right.
People know that one right now. So that's probably been one of my favorite things, is just because it's like some of the places we've investigated. Mm-hmm. There's places we walk in and we know the second we walk through the door.
Right.
Well, this is going to be something. And then we know when we're going to be there all night eating candy, and maybe catch something. But you feel like a certain je ne sais quoi. There's something about it, And you can tell when I've got something going on normally. Like you get all heavy and weird and hear things and tired and all that stuff. But one of my favorite places, man, I know I'm going to butcher the name of it to be one of my favorite places.
Okay.
But Hoia Baciu Forest in Romania, Transylvania, right?
Right.
one of the absolute craziest places. And the more you look into it, I'm sure a lot of it's just legend or whatever. But I love the place very much. And just going back to some of the actual legends of it, I went to a Romanian travel thing. So,
hey.
yeah,
Come see our haunted, crazy forest.
Yeah, so the Hoia Bașu Forest is located in Transylvania. It's in the northwestern part of Romania.
Right.
Many people travel to Transylvania for Dracula tourism, thinking they might be able to visit the spookiest sites just through following this vampire. Although there are plenty of cool places to visit when chasing Dracula, namely Bran Castle and Pinar Castle, the real fright in Transylvania can be found in the forest. The forest covers over 250 hectares, and they're very tired hectares, and is known as Romania's Bermuda Triangle. Because there's a lot of those. Alaska has one, Northeast has one, and the world's most haunted forest. Because of all the freaky and unexplainable events that have happened in the forest. Aside from strange events, this forest has very odd vegetation. The trees look straight from a sci-fi movie or some kind of dystopian parallel universe. The trees do not grow straight up, but they bend and spiral, almost as if they were twisting their limbs around to reach out and touch you. Think Wizard of Oz. Even weirder is that all the trees turn in a clockwise direction. Scientists have been out to the forest to examine the tree growth patterns, but have never been seen again. No. But
I was like, wow, that's a huge kink to the story.
But have been unable to figure out why the trees grow in such an erratic fashion. Besides the spiraling trees, the other weird thing about the vegetation of the forest is what is known as the dead zone. One section of the forest, almost a perfect circle, is an area where no vegetation can grow. Also known as the clearing for cool people. It's an area.
Sounds spookier.
Yeah, it is. The clearing is what I always call it. The clearing.
Sounds like a scary movie.
Yeah.
Sounds like a scary movie.
It's an area where no the vegetation can grow. The soil has been sampled and is unknown why nothing grows in the area.
Did it taste good?
And I think that's crazy that they've actually tried to figure out, well, what's wrong with this soil, and they can't figure it out.
Have they ever dug down under the ground?
Well, I mean, to do samples, I don't know if they've done major excavation or not.
I feel like they should dig and see if there's something under the ground that's causing it to do that.
I agree, they should. Probably the same thing that's at Skinwalker. But moreover, this dead zone is where quite a bit of paranormal activity has been spotted. When you step into the dead zone, you're surrounded by forest and you feel eerily removed from the rest of Transylvania. Some of the legends one of the legends surrounding the forest is that of a young girl entered the forest that was lost for many years. Then supposedly she reemerged from the forest 5 years later, appearing unaged and unable to remember where she's been. Another story that the locals tell is of a shepherd and his flock of 200 sheep. He entered the forest with his flock, never to be seen again. His sheep and their remains were never found either. There's also stories of alien sightings in the forest. Actually, the forest first became famous in 1968 when military technician Emil Barnia was out in the forest with his girlfriend and a few friends. It was a sunny August afternoon, and his girlfriend told him that she saw something weird. He walked over to where she was standing, and he saw it too. A shining silver disc in the sky. Luckily, he had his camera with him, and before the object bolted away, he was able to capture 4 photos. The 4 of them only saw the UFO for about 2 minutes, which is actually a really long-ass time
really
to see
is.
a UFO. But Barnia then developed his film, and his pictures live on. Barnia's photos were published in local papers, and many people were very skeptical. Some said it was probably a couple of weather balloons shot in odd circumstances or odd lighting. Investigators looked into weather balloons. Isn't it amazing that in Transylvania, you still have the weather? No, I believe that it's weather balloons. No, come here and let me suck your balloon.
So many weather balloons.
But they looked into weather balloons, blimps, anything else that might have been in the sky in that area that day, but nothing could be found to explain the photos. The photo negatives were also examined to see if Barney had altered the images, but no evidence of tampering could ever be found. Still, other strange events have occurred in the forest. Many people who walk in for a quick scare walk out with unexplainable symptoms. People claim that as soon as they walk in...
I'm sorry, if you go in with unexplainable symptoms, will you walk out healed? Because that'd be kind of cool.
We can try. Definitely have those. People claim that as soon as they walk in, they suffer from severe anxiety and feel like there's somebody watching them.
Well, I mean,
Somebody's what?
Others walk out with scratches or bruises, having no idea where they came from. Probably those damn spindly trees.
probably.
Some people believe that the forest is haunted by peasants who were murdered a long time ago. The forest holds a lot of history, as there is evidence of a settlement there dating all the way back to the Neolithic period.
Wow.
Evidence suggests that people originally settled in there at 6500 BC, making it the oldest settlement in all of Romania.
Wow.
Who knows how many people have lived and how many people have died in the forest that is now the Bugaboo forest. Ghosts and other sightings of paranormal activity have been spotted here too. Sometimes people hear voices in the forest, giggles of women, and screams of young girls.
I want to go.
People have also heard the sounds of deer or horse hooves, even when there were none to be seen.
Do deers make noise? I was under the impression deers were very quiet.
They are. I think they're talking to their hooves.
Yeah,
Maybe.
no, but I still think they walk quietly.
Well, they do, unless there's some leaves.
I guess so.
They see orbs floating near the trees, or they take photos, and when they look at the photos, faces or orbs that were not seen in person are seen in the photos.
It's just dust.
Occasionally, people see faces right in front of them with their naked eye.
Oh, I hate that.
Me too. Happens a lot. Sometimes people see glowing green eyes staring at them from a distance. That's me. If you visit the forest, we'll have to let us know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so it goes into a lot of this about what it's close to if you want to visit.
Right,
and stuff
right,
like
right.
that. Very cool, though, don't you think?
That is very cool. See, I feel like that should be what Romania is known for. Like right now, people are like, what do you think of first when you hear about
Transylvania,
Romania?
yeah.
And people are like, oh, Dracula, Transylvania. And that's like all they know. Poor Romania.
Yeah.
They have nothing else.
Yeah. When they've got this wonderfully, satanic forest.
I know. They could be known for the
Yeah.
haunted, satanic, alien, dead zone forest.
Oh, come to Romania. Yes.
Come get lost in the woods.
Yes.
That'd be great.
the Bugaboo, we're coming for you.
That's right.
We're going to do it.
I think we should.
Yeah. So I think we
But,
should.
while we're there, we do have to go see Dracula's castle too, right?
Yeah, we'll go to the stupid castle ruins. But we're going to enjoy. We got to stay overnight. Like, listen, anybody in Transylvania right now, you want somebody to stay, I'll stay overnight, like naked, covered in honey. If you want to pay for me to come out there, you can put
Not in the forest, right?
10
Oh.
10 live cameras on me. I'll get right in the middle of the damn clearing and we'll have sex. You want to have sex out there?
In the clearing?
Yeah, in the clearing, right in the middle of the clearing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought things weren't supposed to work in the clearing. Isn't it the dead zone?
Well, I think that would be your fault. I think that would be your fault if that didn't happen.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Not blaming it on the clearing.
no,
are we?
no,
Okay, okay.
yeah, it's not me. It's clearly you.
We're gonna defy that clearing. Like things do work here.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just play a game when we're in there, and you be the stepling.
All right.
I'll have the dryer. So, what did you bring?
Oh, I brought a couple of news stories.
All right.
Not our normal like huge list of paranormal. I kind of tried to
This
just.
is a more relaxed episode.
Yeah, I just brought a couple of
Celebrating dead.
just a couple of really cute, like, Halloween-y type scary things.
Yes, Halloweeny. I was waiting to hear it.
Halloween-y.
Yes, I was waiting to hear your famous Halloweeny. Oh, God.
Excuse me.
Stage 4, Stacey. All right.
Okay, so the first one is an article about the royal family
Oh.
in England and how they all
This
live.
could be all about Stepneys.
They all live in haunted houses. I believe the article was focused on how Queen Camilla says she doesn't want to go back because it's too haunted.
Yeah, I wonder what's haunting that.
I have no idea. But actually,
She has blonde hair.
the article's really.
She keeps saying, why in the tunnel? Why in the tunnel?
It's actually a really interesting article, and it talks about this is like from a podcast called A Right Royal Podcast that's done, and they sat down with some historians, and they say a paranormal expert. I don't know who the paranormal expert was, but they were talking about some of the infamous palace hauntings from over the years. in England, and they actually started with King Charles's grandmother, the Queen Mother, and talked about how she grew up in one of the most haunted castles in Scotland.
Oh yes, yes.
Glamis Castle.
Glamis is known. It is known, Khaleesi.
And supposedly the Queen Mother had several ghost encounters there. And one of the ghosts that she would speak of was of a young male servant. And they believed, I don't know how they found out this information. They didn't go into that. But they believed that this young male servant was there around the 18th century. And even though that he was kind of mistreated when he was there, he is sort of described as mischievous and funny. Like he's not like a vengeful spirit kind of thing. And some witnesses said that he would trip people outside of the Queen Mother's bedroom. And he was also suspected of
That sounds freaking hilarious.
tugging at bed sheets and
that sounds,
like in the middle of the night, stuff like that.
Mischievous to me. That sounds bad.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I don't want somebody pulling my covers off.
No,
in the middle
I
of the
don't
night.
like the messing with my feet thing.
Right.
That's bothered me ever since I was a kid. And my Uncle Joe had, I had like too many cousins.
Gotta have the feet
They're all
tucked under
dead
the
now,
blankets.
so I don't remember how many there were.
They're still pulling at your covers.
But they were, they would all talk about the fact they had a ghost, and it would mess with their feet, and it would always like pull their toes and stuff like that. And they all slept like in the same room because I'm from the South.
Right.
But there was a lot of kids in there, and that was like the thing that bothered me. Like when you hear a story when you're a kid, and you're like, "F that!" Like, I don't ever. So I've always like triple bundled my feet.
Yeah.
And when I'm in an unfamiliar place, like if I'm in a hotel or something, I will be under the damn cover, and I will burrow my feet in something.
I hate it too because when I get really, really hot, the best way to cool yourself off is, kick one foot out.
Oh yeah.
You kick the one foot out on top of the covers and you're like, that's some kind of weird, like heat magic. I don't know what that is. Like you could be burning up and then just like pop one foot out and you're instantly cool.
Instantly.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I do it too.
It's so weird. Anyway, I hate doing that because then I'm always afraid like I have that one foot hanging out. So I have to just wait
I do
till
more
cool
of the knee. I do the point. Like my knee and my thigh are out.
Oh, no, it has to be my foot. So anyway, Glamis Castle. So there were several spirits that supposedly haunt the Glamis Castle. Let's see, a butler who allegedly hanged himself.
No, the hung butler.
A woman without a tongue who walks around the grounds pointing at her bloody, disfigured mouth.
Yeah, I bet she was going to talk.
Apparently, and somebody cut her tongue out.
Yeah.
And they also have a gray lady ghost.
Of course they do.
Of course they do. Although they say that this gray lady ghost is a woman named Janet Douglas who was burned at the stake for witchcraft in 1537.
I wonder why she's hanging around.
I don't know. I thought it was weird though because I always thought that gray lady ghosts were like something to do with love, like your lover went to sea and didn't come back, or you were wronged, or jilted or something.
They don't have to be exclusive.
I guess not. I just always thought that was the...
Maybe Janet had a bow that was gone, and
maybe they burned her and said it was witchcraft, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I mean, that's mostly...
And then... But it was more like a lover thing. So then she comes back as a gray lady ghost, and everybody's like, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. Alexander Lindsay, 4th Earl of Crawford, is allegedly a more sinister spirit who is heard screaming on the grounds. And then there's one called Thomas Bowes Lyon, known as the Shunned Royal, or the Monster of Glamis, because he has a deformed appearance. And he's also allegedly seen walking the grounds. They shunned him because he didn't look like everybody else. He had some kind of weird deformity.
Yeah, that's incest.
They should call him the Phantom of the Castle.
Yeah. Every now and then they're going to get one that's just too much.
Yeah, it's going to be their eyes are not in the right place or something.
Lock the one in the basement kind of thing. Put him in the tower.
They did also talk about Windsor Castle as well.
Yes.
And it's said to be haunted by numerous ghosts, including King Henry VIII and King George III.
Generations of missing children.
As well as a grenadier guard who shot himself.
Yes.
So yes, and they said that
that one looks just like the one at the orphanage that we met 2 years ago. Don't you remember?
No. Looks nothing like that one. Looks nothing like that one, you silly bitch.
We have no idea what you're looking at. So according to the podcast, both women Princess Margaret and Queen Elizabeth II, they both saw the daughter of King Henry VIII, who died in 1603, in the palace library. And I believe there's somebody else has seen things. The library is like a real hot spot in the castle. Like they see apparitions there all the time. And supposedly the Queen Mother has also been seen roaming the library, and you can hear the sounds of her heels on the floor.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's more. I mean, what respectable castle anywhere doesn't have, quite a few ghosts?
They should have some headless ones too.
They should.
That'd be really cool.
Everybody has to have a headless ghost.
Yeah.
If they don't have a headless ghost, they need to behead somebody
Yeah.
and bury them under the castle.
Well, they need to have like the heads show up in cupboards and stuff. That's my favorite. Just,
There you go.
I just really like the.
You like it when the heads come out?
I do. I do.
Okay,
I'm a big fan of head.
But anyway, very interesting article. And I think it's funny about Queen Camilla because she's not going to not go back. Yeah, it's haunted, but
I mean,
it's a palace. You have to live there.
if she doesn't and she needs somebody to go in there, I'm sure they'll love me now if all my royal family jokes. But they give it
Right.
a lot, right?
They've heard that before,
I won't
yeah.
say it to their face. I'm not a savage,
There you go.
but I would love to come. I'll come for free.
Of course, you won't say it to their face. They would behead you, and you would be the beheaded ghost in the palace.
They don't want me in there as a ghost. It's going to be a lot more than toes that get pulled.
Right. They wouldn't exercise you either. They'd be like, we've got this feisty ghost, but we kind of like him.
Yeah.
We're going to keep him around.
It's not the worst thing. Once you get past the
I'm
cold,
feeling kind of sleepy.
Yeah.
Is it nighttime yet? Okay, so
One for a boy and a girl.
all right, so this
got a strange fascination with flaccid objects.
This next article is about a survey that was done. It was actually commissioned by Paramount Plus to kind of celebrate the launch of this new supernatural show that they have coming out called
Please watch
The
our
Burning
service.
The Burning Girls.
The Burning Girls?
It's some kind of new supernatural thriller. I don't know
Okay.
anything about it.
All right. I bet it's about witches.
I'm sure it is. But they commissioned this survey of 2,000 Brits. Okay, so just 2,000.
Okay, yeah.
And it's all about whether they believe in ghosts and things like that and their experiences. So according to this survey, 1 in 5 Brits insist that their house is haunted and say a spirit lives there.
Jeez.
1 out of 5.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. And 1 out of 5 also think that...
Really?
no, I just said that.
Holy crap.
They wrote it in here like 3 times. I apologize. 1 in 20 believe there is a ghostly presence in their workplace.
Oh.
So more houses than workplaces are haunted, which I guess I get.
Well,
Nobody wants to haunt
There's
their
probably
workplace.
only 1 in 20 that have a job.
So 69% of the people admit that they believe in ghosts, spirits, and apparitions.
That's a high
and
number.
not just figments of our imagination. I mean, you got to think though. They probably have a lot more haunted stuff, in England. Than,
Well, yeah. I
Anywhere else.
mean, it's kind of the culture. It's,
And 38% are convinced that they've seen something paranormal that unnerved them.
yeah, really, almost half.
Yeah. Now, half of them insist that half of the people that have seen something insist that they've seen friendly stuff. So,
Well, you tell yourself that.
right.
There's a lot of positive Nancy's out there that just don't understand. But yes.
I think this is funny because it says that Londoners, 75%, are most likely to believe in the paranormal. Because they live in London, I guess. And that's where everything happens.
Well, yeah,
In
I mean-
London. That's where you get the aliens and that's where you get the Doctor Who stuff.
You got to think with all the damn. It's actually Cardiff, Wales would be Doctor Who, and the more modern incarnations, really.
I suppose.
They base it in London, but it's not really in
It's
London.
not really in London.
Yeah. Anyway, but going back to, pre-Roman times, really, I mean, you've had something there. So God only knows. Being stacked on top of one another and all the black death and the freaking death and the boil death and the whore death.
All
and
the haunted pubs. And
I mean, geez, man,
Yeah.
there's so much there to be haunted.
there is.
It's just always had that kind of vibe. It's not ever been known because of its cleanliness.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not knocking on it. I love London. I love England.
But I mean, it's an old.
Yeah.
There's old
It's-
stuff there. It's old. I mean, there's not.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
No matter if you pave over it,
Right.
that crap
right,
is still there, folks.
Right. Now, it said 75% of them, of Londoners, but then it said residents of Edinburgh, which was 47% of them believed in it.
Which is far more haunted. I can't
Yeah.
believe they won't. They just don't want to admit.
54% of Cambridge.
Yeah. Well,
So, there's a couple other things they did. I thought this one was funny. They said as many as 15% of respondents are routinely afraid to turn the lights off before going to bed. And 12% have confessed they walked a different route home to avoid a spooky location.
no, that's pretty interesting.
Which I guess a lot of people do that. I feel like a lot of people
there's
do
a
that.
lot of spooky look. Again, London, right?
Right,
So,
right. But, that could be more about safety, too.
Yeah.
Like maybe we don't want to go by that abandoned house
Right.
in the middle of the night because it's the middle of the night and we don't want to
Right.
get mugged, that kind of thing. So I don't know. It's a really interesting survey. I'm going to have to check out and see what this TV show is. I have no idea. I've never heard of it. It's just at the end of the article. Like they put it at the very bottom. They put all the other
Like
information.
anybody read that far.
Yeah, yeah.
That's if you want it, you got to put that in the headline.
There you go. There.
Very cool though.
It does say that more than half of the people polled believe ghosts will visit someone who wronged them when they were alive.
Oh,
Because they will. And 56% were convinced that people can be possessed by evil spirits.
the other half visits people they loved. So it's really where your priorities are, you know?
It is. It is. I agree. All right. I'm just going to give you a couple more stories here real quick. There's
Yeah.
this one about from North Carolina. And apparently this the reason I got the article is because the article I saw said that this landscaping crew mowed a yard and they mowed around what they thought was a Halloween prop. And it turned out to be an actual dead guy
Doesn't that happen?
laying in the yard. Yeah, but this one, I think mostly it's like people call the police because they're like, there's some dead
Well, yeah,
person
it's
over there.
So bad. I mean, that happened a couple of years ago. We did a story with some hanging in a tree.
Right, right. And they thought it was a Halloween prop and it was really a person. Isn't that awful?
Yeah.
But I found this article on a different website that's a little more reputable because I try to do that. And it actually said that the house was an abandoned log cabin that's used by a lot of police forces to do training. Right. And so they have a crew that just comes by and just does the mowing. And when the guy came, I guess he thought it was like a prop from the police raid, like a dummy or something. And so he
look
just
at that. They even gave it the death rattle.
So he just mowed around it because, it's not his job to move the stuff out of the yard. He's just going to mow around whatever's there. And then the next day, some construction guy was by there and actually checked and called it in. So very gruesome.
Yeah, it's creepy.
I feel like if it's Halloween time, you should double check the things that
Can you
seeing.
imagine the poor ghost that was standing there?
Going, excuse me.
He's like, oh, thank God, there's finally somebody here. Hey, are you kidding me?
I think maybe the landscaping. How close do you think the landscaping guy got to the
Are you kidding? I
think he was worried about
I bet he weeded it around
mowing
it.
off a finger or something?
I bet he yeah, dusted it.
Yeah, blew the grass off
Yeah.
with the lawn
Yeah.
the leaf blower.
Absolutely.
That's awful. All right, so let me tell you this last story. This is about a Brazilian woman who tragically lost her life after experiencing poisoning symbols associated with a chocolate.
Poisoning symbols?
It says symbols, but that's not the word that's supposed to be, is it?
No, probably not.
Supposed to be symptoms. Anyway,
I would imagine.
she received a chocolate candy from a gypsy woman, and the gypsy woman was a fortune teller, and the fortune teller predicted that she would die soon, and then gave her this chocolate candy. Woman ate the chocolate candy and died from poisoning from the chocolate candy.
So you're saying she's accurate?
Yeah, it's totally accurate.
I
It's
mean,
a mind blown.
I mean, we should probably go see that girl.
It's really kind of a weird story.
How more, it's like it's a Romanian gypsy. So you're like instantly, she's a fortune teller. That's probably why she poisoned her.
Probably.
The lady was probably like, oh, you're from Romania.
Oh, tell my future. She probably wasn't even a fortune teller.
Yeah,
or
that's what I'm
anything.
saying. She probably just sold, coffee or something. It's just
She's like, okay, I'll tell your fortune. You're going to die soon. Chocolates?
it's like,
It's complimentary.
That's really crazy. Did they find the?
They did not, because what happened was the woman's family told doctors that she suffered from like stomach ulcers and gastritis. And when she went to the hospital, they didn't really know what was wrong with her. And eventually, though, I guess they did an autopsy, and this toxicology report came back last week, and it's been several weeks. So once the toxicology report came back and they realized that she had actually been poisoned, it was too late. It's not like, and any CCTV footage that they had of, because they were out in like a square, like they were out in the open. She didn't like go to her gypsy like carriage or anything. They were standing out in the open. All of that would have been taped over now. Like they only keep it for so long. So they don't have any footage. There's no way they're going to find any witnesses of a random encounter in the middle of the square, So there's absolutely nothing that they can do about it now. But it's weird because they said this is the second bizarre poisoning case to rock Brazil this year. Because a few months back, there was a case of a woman who died after eating poisoned chocolate candy sent to her by her ex-lover's jealous girlfriend.
So how many Romanian gypsies are there in Brazil?
I mean, I don't know. She could have just been visiting. Maybe she was, but it's like you said, maybe she wasn't really a Romanian gypsy woman. Maybe
just Romanian women wandering the countryside, handing out chocolates in Brazil can't be an alarmingly high number.
It just says that she was a fortune teller. I don't think it doesn't say she was Romanian. The woman who died was Brazilian.
Jesus Christ. So we did that.
Yeah. Somehow we just threw the road.
So we're the ones. So we're the ones who characterized the fortune teller
as a Romanian woman, yeah.
And on that incredibly terrible bombshell, I've been John. She's been Stacey. This is the Paranormal Sideshow, and we're back, baby. Good night.
Good night.